All right, most recent episode of Silo is in the bag, which was episode 8. And oh, yeah, we finally got answers this episode. Answers to quite a few things, including who's behind it all, which was, there was a moment I suspected this individual, but then later on I quit suspecting that individual, and then it came back full circle, and yeah, it was the person I originally thought it was, and then anyway, I don't want to spoil it before the fold because if you've never watched one of my reviews, I don't do spoiler free, so it's all going to happen after this point. I'll be talking about the whole episode, all the secrets, all the things. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, we're a week behind, so you should have plenty of time to go get caught up. In the meantime, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and spoiler stuff out of the way. We are now free to talk. So the guy who's the mayor turns out to be behind it all. And I mean, we still don't know the why. And we don't know if there's anybody above him. But Tim Robbins' character turns out to be the guy who's behind Sims. And this whole time, this whole episode is about her thinking that Sims is the one behind everything, having come to that realization like the last episode. But this entire episode is about her being on the run with the hard drive and revealing the camera sensors and everything else to the artist guy who draws the satellite pictures from the stars, and just this whole scenario of her trying to stay ahead of Sims and his raiders while simultaneously trying to figure out what's up with the hard drive. Along the way, she convinces her deputy Billings to help her, because he knows the pact backwards and forwards, and Judicial's breaking the pact in all sorts of different ways. And so she convinces him to help her arrest Sims because he's breaking the pact and raiding her office and all these other things without any sort of permissions. Judge Meadows isn't going to stop anything because she's not in control of everything. And then, the dude is in jail, Sims is in jail, while she's on the run, trying to get all these places and trying to figure out a way to unlock the hard drive. That's the big thing. She needs to unlock the hard drive because she doesn't know what's on it. Turns out she can't do it from any computer. She can only do it at her office computer. So the only people that have the permission to operate those hard drives are like heads of IT, the mayor's office, and the sheriff. But it has to be done from your own work terminal. And she has no way to get back to her office because everything's being watched. Her apartment's being watched. Everything's being watched because Judicial wants her, and she thinks it's all about Sims. So um, there's a lot of cat and mouse stuff that happens in this episode. Ironically, most of the times when I do a review of an episode, they end up being 15 to 20 minutes long. This is not going to be one of those cases because this episode was pretty fast paced, and it was very straightforward. I think the only surprises in this episode were, by the way, this makes total sense considering this is episode 8. We've only got 2 more to go, 9 and 10, and then this season's over. But it's great to know that we have a season 2 coming in the pipeline because now we're not going to get left with a cliffhanger. So she eventually manages to stay ahead long enough to where she's on the stairs and she's coming down. There's checkpoints everywhere because she arrested Sims and Judicial's out for blood. And this Judicial person is like questioning her at a checkpoint. Show me your ID. And she's like, I'm the sheriff. I don't have to show you ID. And the Judicial agent is insisting. And then along comes the mayor and he's like, ah, she's with me. And Judicial's like, ah, and he's like, come with me. Let's go talk somewhere private. And he takes her to this cornfield and this is where Sims shows up. He's obviously been let out of jail, and he reveals that he is, in fact, the person behind it all. Makes the, typical villain speech about, sacrifice of the few for the survival of the many and all this other stuff. Um, I, again, initially suspected him, but then I figured it wasn't him because he seemed to be on her side in so many ways. But it looks like this was all just a manipulation on his behalf to get her to track down this hard drive, which they wanted to lock up. And they didn't have a clue where it was because it was last in George's possession. She figured she was tied to George, so it was all about using her. So, they get her, man. Like Judicial shows up in force, they get her in the cornfield, and you think that that's over. But at the end of the episode, as they're hauling her down the stairs, Billings is freaking out because they're forcing him to arrest her, and he believes her. He's seen some shit go down. He's yelling at Sims, "You're doing this all wrong. The pact says this, that, or the other." And the guy just straight up punches Juliette, and he's like, "I don't care. Just stop talking to me," and blah 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 blah. And in the middle of this, the Sheriff Billings starts to have one of his tremors. Juliette notices, takes advantage of this, leaps ahead, grabs her backpack off of Sim's back because it has a hard drive in it, and then literally goes over the edge of the stairs and jumps. Who knows? That's the cliffhanger. Like it just fades to black. So, yeah, she's in the wind, and that's going to be the last two episodes. I'm assuming it's going to be her getting to a place where she's going to be able to unlock the hard drive and see what's on it. I was hoping she was actually going to go to the door and under the water and figure all that out this episode, but maybe they're saving that for season 2. I don't know. But in any case, Juliet is in the wind as of the end of this episode. I think the only other major thing that happened in this episode, as a result of her investigations, when she initially arrests Sims and she's in his office alone, she's searching through his filing cabinets. And what's up, everybody? Commercial break here. I got to give a shout out to our guild champions. It's the highest tier membership here on YouTube. We got Ancient Entity, Crazy as Relative, and Remy D. Thanks so much for your support. And of course, to all of the members here on YouTube, thanks for keeping me on the air full time. If you do like what you see and hear on my channel, don't forget to not only like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, but please support. Consider me your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, or HBO, whatever you want to call it. You can do memberships here on the channel starting at $3 a month. And of course, anytime you see me live or you watch a premiere, you can do super chats and stickers on those videos and super thanks on any upload you see, which allows me to keep doing this full time and paying the bills. So from Chris and I and all of our rescue cats, we say thank you. Let's get back to the video at hand. Ends up finding, these like hidden files in the back of a bottom shelf, and they're on different people. One of those people is her mother, and we have some flashbacks throughout this episode about her mother, building a magnifying glass to help repair hearts because her brother died of a heart defect, and she get this pet rabbit and she's going to use it to fix the pet rabbit's heart and all this other stuff. And Judicial comes into their house and breaks the magnifying glass, and her mother blames her father for Judicial. She thinks that he turned her into Judicial, and that's how Juliet's hatred for her father has come into play this whole growing up. And she realizes that her father was never in the wrong, and she has a heart-to-heart moment with her dad, a very touching and tear-jerking moment with, is this Ian Glenn? I think is his name. Um, did a great job of her realizing that her father had been telling the truth all along, that it had never been him who turned it in. It was the monitors and the cameras and everything else that the Judicial has in place to monitor all the people, so they knew what her mom was doing. But then there's still the question of, well, why did they break? Why can't they have magnifying glasses? Why aren't they allowed to operate like that? Like what is going on with all this control? Why does Judicial need this control? What are they trying to hide from people? There's still all those questions at play, which we don't have the answers to yet. And I don't know that we're going to get the answers to that this one. But we do know that the mayor and Sims want her dead because they both claim that she said she wants to go out to clean. And she's yelling at the end of the episode to Billings, "I never said I wanted to go out to clean. I don't want to go out to clean. You guys are inventing this. You're framing me." And of course, she's being escorted up the stairs by, half a dozen Judicial, and that's when he punches her and tells her to shut up, and then she jumps over the edge with her bag. So pretty tense episode, very fast. We got answers this episode. That was the big thing. So it was just like boom, 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 boom. We had a build up for the last 7 episodes, and then episode 8, it was like, hook, and this was the uppercut. So now we're just waiting for the last 2 episodes for the rest of the puzzles to unravel. Great episode, love it. Can't wait for the last 2. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down in the comments below. See you next time, everybody. Stay safe and happy watching.